Hey guys, what's up? Bigger Reviews here, and El Camino, a Breaking Bad story, has just released today. I've seen it, and I'm just gonna cut right to the point. I don't want to keep bullshitting everyone. I loved it. It came out at 3 a.m. my time, and of course I stayed up to watch it, and I was blown away. Now, is it as good as like the best Breaking Bad episodes ever? No, it's more of like a slow burner, but it's still great. Aaron Paul shines in this movie. He's such a good and underrated actor in Hollywood that I really hope this movie gets him into the spotlight again, because he deserves it. He's a very good actor, and everything he does feels so real. So if you guys don't know, El Camino takes place right after the Breaking Bad finale, and yes, there is flashbacks. We kind of figured. Now I'm gonna get into that in a bit, the spoiler territory, but for right now it's gonna be spoiler free. So the three things that stand out in this is basically everything that Breaking Bad is most well known for, is the acting and the cinematography and the writing. Now, Vince Gilligan, if you guys didn't know, he created Breaking Bad. He wrote most of Breaking Bad. He's the reason why Breaking Bad is so good. And he writes Better Call Saul. He wrote this movie. He directed. A lot of people going into this movie were scared because they thought that it wasn't going to live up to Breaking Bad. But Netflix let him do whatever he wanted. Thank you, Netflix, because a lot of companies want them to do their own twist to it. So I'm glad they trusted Vince Gilligan like we all do, and he delivered. Now, does this make Breaking Bad's ending better, or does it tarnish it? I think it's like Rogue One. Now, but the opposite. Rogue One was a prequel to Episode 4, but it made Episode 4 better. I think this even made the finale better because the whole movie you're getting flashbacks and stuff, and then you're back into the Breaking Bad world almost. It feels like, and then you keep cutting to right after, and you see his scars, and you're like. And it makes you like appreciate what Walter did in the finale, and it just makes that scene of him driving off even better. And I just can't. I don't know what I don't really want to spoil it, so I'm sorry. But yeah. So basically, this whole movie is just screams Breaking Bad, but it's its own little story too. It's not directly a copy and paste Breaking Bad. It's not centered around drugs really at all. But okay. I'm gonna get into spoilers, okay? I'm sorry, it's just so hard to talk about this movie without spoilers because this whole thing was secretive in the first place. So if you haven't seen the movie, stop, go watch it. It's about 2 hours long on Netflix. Come back and watch this part. Spoilers, okay? So it starts off right, like legit. Well, it starts off with a flashback with Mike. Now, if you guys don't know, the guy who plays Mike said that he was gonna be in the movie. He's right at the beginning. It's a flashback of them at the lake, and they're talking about like where you want to go after this or whatever. And then it cuts to right after the finale of Jesse driving away in the car, and it just took me right back to the finale. I was like, holy shit, like this, I'm actually watching this. Like, we're finally getting a story 6 years later about what happened after the finale. And basically he lies low, he goes to Skinny Pete's house. You know, they just got back from doing the shit for Walter, so they're just playing video games, and they hide the El Camino and all that. Now let's get into the storyline. So the storyline's basically he's trying to get to Alaska. He gets this money he goes back, so we get a flashback with Todd. Now this is one of the things I like that can take you out of the illusion of this being a sequel, because Todd, the actor, it's not fat shaming or anything, you know, I'm big myself. Todd, the guy who plays Todd was really skinny in the finale, and he gained a lot of weight since then, which is it's been 6 years. I kind of wish they either hit him well or made him lose weight. Because when you first see Todd, it's a flashback of when Jesse was in the cage, and they're hiding him through the bars. I'm like, okay, so that's how they're gonna do it. But then, like, you're having full scenes of him in the light, like talking to Jesse, and you could see he gained weight. Now, it took me a little bit to I'm like it can pull you out of the experience a bit, because you're like, why is he so big? If you know, but it pulls you out of the experience. But overall, it didn't really bother, because after a while I just got used to it. It was so good seeing Todd back, and I like seeing that side of Todd. I like seeing that part in Breaking Bad where he actually kind of, now he's still a dick, you know, he's a neo-Nazi, whatever, but you can definitely tell he almost doesn't want to be in this life. Like, he kind of does, but he cares for Jesse. Like, there's a lot of times in this movie where Jesse's taking a beating, and he's trying to, like, make sure Jesse's okay. Like, Uncle Jack and them go out for the weekend, and he lets Jesse come to the apartment, and he feeds him and stuff. And so basically, he goes, this whole flashback was meant to see how Jesse knows there's money in Todd's apartment. And he finds this money. Basically, these two cops come in, and they're actually not cops. So this is a whole other group that we never met before. These are basically the people that do the welding or whatever, and they welded the thing. If you guys remember in the finale where Jesse was tied to like that thing on the ceiling, they welded that, and they made him like test it out and hurt himself and all that. And that was a really strong moment. That's another scene where you see Todd like talking and all that, and like trying to say, "I'm sorry if you hear that. People are mowing my fucking lawn." But so yeah, basically they act like cops and they take the 2/3 of the money and they give Jesse 1/3. He goes to that one guy, I forgot his name, the vacuum repair guy, you know, who drives them away and creates them a new life. And he's $1,800 short, so Jesse has to go get the rest of the money. That's mainly what the whole movie's about. Like right after he leaves Skinny Pete's house, is him trying to get the money. So he ends up going to the place, the welding place, and he basically has a standoff with the guy. But he kills him, he kills the other guy, he takes all the money, and basically it ends with him going to Alaska and starting a new life, like he always should have. Now there's two other cameos in here. One is Jane, I think that's her name, his girlfriend. Right at the end, she's talking about how she wanted to like let the universe guide her, but then she decided she has to make her own decisions. And then I love the ending. I get goosebumps thinking about it. He drives off in Alaska and he starts like grinning a bit, and it's such a good parallel to the ending of Breaking Bad, because you know he's actually safe. He has a new name. He's gonna live a long life. He gave a letter to the guy and told him to send it to Brock, so we kind of figure that Brock's going to go up there and stay with him, and I really like that. I really like that ending. That's the ending I wanted, and people might see like, oh, I could see that coming. Yeah, what's so bad about that? But yeah, I think that's about it. Fuck no. We get a cameo from Walter White. It was rumored forever that we'd get a cameo from Walter White, and we finally got it. The way they do it, so it cuts to Jesse in like a bathtub. I think this is right after the beginning of season 2. I couldn't really pinpoint when exactly this took place, but it was definitely in season 2. Because Walt has the mustache but not the whole beard, and they have the RV, and basically they're at this hotel, and I'm like, where the fuck I thought at first they make you believe that it's like past, but then he starts talking to some girl on the phone. You're like, oh, it's Jane. So it's definitely in season 2. He knocks on the door. I didn't expect it at all. I didn't know it was coming, and the camera just backs up, and then out comes Walter, and like no one says a word. It's just them walking down a hallway. I got goosebumps. I was on my bed at like 4 a.m. I gasped. I was that shocked. Like, for some reason I just didn't. It might seem obvious now that I think about it, but I just did not expect to see Walter. And the way Vince Gilligan does it, Jesse walks out and knocks on the door. He's looking around. The camera starts backing up. The door opens. You're like, who the fuck's opening the door? Walt comes out, and we get a really, really touching scene with Walt and Jesse, which I really like, because we got some of those, but not a lot. And here's what the quote says. He says, you know, you're really lucky. You didn't have to wait your whole life to do something special. And that really hit me, because, like, you know, the whole story about Walter White in Breaking Bad was, you know, he was doing it for himself in the end, and he made him feel alive. And it only took him 50 years to get cancer to figure that out. And I really like this scene, because I love the scenes in Breaking Bad where Walt cares for Jesse, like he hugs Jesse, and even at the end of Felina, the Breaking Bad finale, where he just nods. I really love that moment, and I'm so glad that we got another moment of this, and they're just talking. He's like, he'd be a really good college professor, you know, and he's just talking about like Jesse, and there's some funny scenes, and they're like, it took you right back to Breaking Bad. Jesse says bitch, he's like, yeah, bitch, and that was like a throwback. And then you have some really funny moments like you got from the early seasons of Breaking Bad, where like Walt's like, you have to go get your GED, and Jesse's like, I passed high school, dick. he's like, oh yeah, and Jesse's like, you handed me my diploma, you were standing right there. Like, those scenes were so funny. And now his head looked a little weird, Walt, because that's where he's wearing a bald cap, but it doesn't. People on Twitter were blowing it out of proportion. It really didn't look bad to me. I was just more excited to see more of Walter White, and even though it was about 10 minutes, like, so it was a good chunk. I'm surprised it wasn't like 2 minutes. It was like a good, 6 to 10 minute time with him, and I really loved that moment. That's probably one of my favorite parts in the movie. And yeah, so Jesse's story ends here. He didn't die, thank God. He has a happy ending. And we didn't see Saul, which I thought we were going to see, but then again, Saul has his own movie, or his own TV show, so, maybe we get too much of him. And you have to remember now, Better Call Saul's still going on, and they talked about how Walt and Jesse are going to be in Season 5, which is filming now. Season 5 is like the last season, I think, so I'm really hoping to see more. We might even get some more Walt soon, which I really like. I really like Walter White's character a lot. And this does not tarnish Breaking Bad. That's the main point I'm trying to make. This does not tarnish Breaking Bad at all. It makes the Breaking Bad finale better. It just makes the whole world richer. And yeah, all that stuff. So let me know what you guys think down below of El Camino. Do you think it was a good idea, or should they have left the or should they have left the finale open? I like this personally. I think it made it great. I'm gonna start watching Better Call Saul again. I kind of stopped, but now that I'm so invested in the series, I'm gonna start again. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, it's been Joey. I'm gonna have some more videos coming out for you soon. Some more Joker videos, because there's still controversy about the Joker going on, but I'll talk about that in my other videos. But as always, it's been Joey. Peace out.